youth force of this All India OBC Students Association, led by G.Karunanidhy's team, has made a timely decision to have a seminar, more so through virtual also, so that many people could join and have their views or hear their views. And I really appreciate your efforts. And you are all well aware that at national level, our All India OBC Employees Federation has been consistently demanding and fighting for this caste-wise census. And since many of the students will be joining this seminar today, let me remind them that in 2011, that was a year where the government was to conduct the caste, not the census 2011. So at that time, we spearheaded this campaign throughout India, and particularly with the MPs, honorable MPs, with our support of our President, Mr. B. Hanumantrao, who was our that time MP also. So we had a very good discussion with many of the MPs, those stalwarts. At that time in the parliament, our Sharadji was there, Mulayam Singh was there, Lal was there. So all these people were there. And it was a wonderful time. At that time, UPA government was also in the power. So we had a very continuous and consistent effort that in 2011, this caste-wise census should be conducted. And we brought out a lot of pamphlets and matters for the MPs also, so that they can speak in the parliament. And Saraji was very happy to have our pamphlets also inside the parliament and showing it in the discussion also. So what happened was, with a lot of pressure, the government, UPA government, finally agreed. Then not by the Home Minister, who was Chidambaram at that time, Home Minister, but Finance Minister was Pranab Mukherjee. He accepted that in 2011 census, the caste will be taken into enumeration will be done, and he promised it in the parliament also. And to our letter written by our federation, to our Registrar General of Census Department, and he wrote a letter to me dated 24th December 2010, wherein he stated clearly that I am directed to state that the government has decided to canvass caste of all persons as written by them as an independent exercise after population enumeration of 2011 census is over. The enumeration of caste would be conducted from June 2011 to September 2011 in a paced manner. The modalities of conducting the enumeration are in the process of finalization. This was the letter given by the Registrar General of the Census Department. But subsequently, the bureaucracy, fully dominated by the upper caste, they overruled the decision of the government at the power, and they made a total dilution of the exercise by conducting a socio-economic survey at the national level. And finally, the report came in 2015. But at that time, there was change of government. The present government, headed by respected Narendra Modi ji, is in power. But they have not published the report so far. From the registrar side, from the department side, what was given to us was that there are a lot of inadequacies in the data, and we cannot publish that because there is a lot of inaccuracies running to lakhs, because so many castes are there in the backward classes, so they are not able to provide that. And also when the matter came before the court, Supreme Court, they gave the same thing. But the interesting thing is, in 2016, the same Registrar General has given a statement that the data is fully correct and 98% of the data are fully correct. But subsequently, they changed their stand and gave a different affidavit in the Supreme Court, which also we exposed them through our pamphlets to the members of the parliament. But nothing happened. So after that, in 2018, when Rajnath Singh was the Home Minister, he conducted a conference of the officials of the census department, where he clearly said that this time the collection of data of caste will be included. This was given by the Home Minister, then Home Minister Rajnath Singh, in the meeting, which was also published by the Press Trust of India, dated 31st August 2018. But after that, the government retracted their position and said that they will not be able to conduct this exercise. And the registrar wrote a letter to the Maharashtra government, who was particular to have a caste census. For them, he gave a reply that collection of data of OBCs or SEBCs and other castes will adversely affect the integrity of the census exercise. So this is the stand taken by the government, but subsequently they are taking a different positions on occasions. When the opposition parties, particularly the Congress party of the present leadership, has understood the seriousness of this issue of having a data of all the communities, because there is a demand from various communities about the representation of those communities in the power structure. But the backward classes were demanding that the other communities were not able to understand the legitimate and justifiable demand of the communities. Now they realize, the other communities who are more dominant, but in the power structure, they feel that they are not adequately represented. So they demand that reservation policy to be applied to them also. But the court are denying their appeal or their demand, citing that, as stated by our respected leader Veeramaniji, that there should be a quantifiable data to support their claim. But it is an irony that this government, now we are going to celebrate the 75th year of independence, and already we have a 75th year of our republic. And so far, the government is not having any data for all the communities, except the scheduled castes and tribes. And religion-wise, they are having a data, Hindus, Muslims, like that. But the Registrar General doesn't feel that that will affect the integrity of the nation, like that. When there is a religious data, that will not affect the integrity of the country. But only when the claim of the backward classes is done, the Registrar General feels that it will affect the integrity of the. This is their method of approach on a very important social issue. So what happened was, this dominant communities are also demanding that, and the government is having the data of 1931 census only. It was done by the British government. So that whenever any court case on reservation policy goes to the court, it is easily struck down, citing that there is no empirical evidence or data of recent origin. And they said that our old data cannot be applied now. This is the position taken by the Supreme Court or any other court. So there is every necessity to have a data of all the communities. And recently the government brought out a 10% reservation for the economically weaker sections, which was also challenged. From my side, I have filed a petition in the Supreme Court contesting the act itself. But finally, the judgment came in favor of the act. The 10% act is valid. But there is another case which was contested on the basis of the government's criteria to apply for EWS reservation about the 8 lakhs amount and the 10% reservation. And the government is not having any data. That is also an issue pending with the Supreme Court of India. For all these things, the government requires a data. Apart from that, I want to inform you, it is not only a question of reservation policy alone. It is about other issues also. The government is providing budget allocation for the welfare of all the affected groups, particularly the scheduled caste, tribes, minorities, and the backward classes. And you will be surprised to know that union government, till now, they have given an allocation of only 2,000 crores per year for the welfare of the other backward classes in terms of giving the pre-metric or post-metric scholarship like that. For the scheduled caste, they are allocating 7,725 crores. Scheduled tribes, 7,525 crores. Apart from that, there is a scheduled caste and scheduled tribe component plan where the government is allocating, to cite the recent budget allocation of 2023-24, the government has allocated nearly 1,60,000 crores for the welfare of the scheduled caste, nearly 1,20,000 crores for the welfare of the scheduled tribes. But till now, not a single pie has been allocated for the welfare of the backward classes, which we have been demanding. And unless you have a data, you cannot have a proper allocation or funds allocation by the Finance Ministry. Not only that, the Subcategorization Commission, headed by Justice Rohini, they have already finalized the report, but what the commission has told the press also, that they are not having the data of the caste-wise population of the backward classes, which is not officially available, and also the 2011 socio-economic survey, which was given to the government in 2015, that data also was not provided to them. So they plan to have a national-wise survey also, for which the government has not sanctioned any funds. So finally they have given the report without taking any data about the backward classes, and they are going to give a subcategorization of the population. Number one. And this caste-wise census demand is not a new demand. We are not the only people having raised this demand. Neither the Students' Association or our federation or our various social organizations. In fact, the first Backward Classes Commission, headed by Kaka Kalelkar, he gave the report in 1955 on the basis of the Article 340 of the Constitution. In his report, he says that as long as social welfare and social relief have to be administered through caste, classes, or groups, full information about these groups should be obtained and tabulated. Also, census slips should consist, amongst others, caste in a separate column. So, what we want is simple procedure only. You are having a format where in that format just add one column caste, so that the people, when the enumerators are going to them, they will be able to give the caste. In our country, we have got literates, illiterates. So many people, they may not be knowing many other things, but every human being in this country will know about his caste. There is no person not knowing about his caste. Everybody will know that. And the head of the family certainly knows his caste. And when the enumerator asks him, he will certainly give his caste. Maybe he will add with a subcaste. Nothing wrong with that. So it has to be taken inside, tabulated, it can be summarized. There is no issue about that. The recent example is the Bihar government conducted caste survey. Within 3 months, they were able to conduct a survey of covering all the people, and they were able to tabulate it, and accordingly they were able to give a report stating that the backward classes and the economically backward classes, all these groups constitute nearly 63% of the population. They were able to give it within 3 months. A state government was able to do it, even though that full mechanism may not be available, but they were able to engage their staff to have a data. Whereas the government of India, under Census Act of 1948, has the responsibility to conduct a caste census, including a caste, and they have the responsibility when they are having a data about the scheduled castes and tribes, they should have the data of all the communities so that this kind of issues pertaining to reservation policy or budget allocation or any other public welfare system, if they want to implement, and also if the claims of any communities, if they want reservation policy, they can answer legally in a data-based manner. This is the scientific approach. If a government wants to approach an issue scientifically or legally, it should have a data. Whereas the present government is willfully avoiding that, and the bureaucracy all along have been depriving that, and they are giving false information to the government and also to the court. And again, I have filed a case in the Supreme Court of India that the government should be directed to conduct a caste census, and it was listed last month 12th. Now it has been tagged along with the Bihar caste survey case, which will be coming before hearing on 5th February also in the Supreme Court of India. We will be fighting it legally. That is a different matter. But a political decision has to be taken by the present government that this caste-wise census alone can solve the issues. Whereas the bureaucracy is giving always a wrong answer. And they are giving a false information in the court as well as to the government and misguiding them. And they are telling that by conducting this caste census, this country will be divided on caste lines. Whereas by conducting the caste census alone, you can unite the people because everybody will know where they stand, and their claim will be also known to them, what they can claim to up to what extent their claim can be. All these things, if it is known to them publicly, then there will not be any clash of interest. So this will only unite the people instead of dividing the people. Whereas the officials, they don't want this data because by this, they will be exposed. Their number will show to what extent they are in the country and to what extent they are in the power structure. This exposure will totally unite the other affected groups of all the people to have their legitimate claim, rightful claim of as enumerated in our Indian Constitution. Additionally, my brothers and sisters, I want to inform you that this kind of caste enumeration we are demanding today, it is already available in the United States of America. They are also having a caste census every 10 years. In 2020, they conducted their last census. Even though Corona was there and a lot of people died in America more than any country, till they completed that exercise, whereas our country postponed this. I don't think even after this election, immediately it will be conducted. Yeah, we don't know when it will be conducted. The government is not sure about it. But in America, it has been conducted. In that exercise, what they have asked is, they have included race as in a column. People have to mention which race they belong, whether they belong to Black, African American, American Indian, or Alaska Native, or Hispanics, or white. This column is available in United States of America because that country wants to know which are the groups. Depending upon that affirmative action will be helpful for the private sector also to have their participation inside. For example, in the Harvard University, the affirmative action is there. Blacks are being represented in faculties. Nearly 30%, nearly 20% of the faculties in Harvard University are blacks. Similarly, in Microsoft, you can check with them. There are blacks representing in the board also. Like that country, even though there is no written act in the government of United States, still they make implement the affirmative action for all the groups and depending upon this data only. So when an advanced country like America is able to conduct this exercise regularly, and there is no problem in that, or no official in America says that is dividing the country, or that exercise is totally not feasible or possible. Whereas in India only, these people dominating in the upper echelons of the power, they are only denying our rightful thing, and it is the right time that we debate, discuss, and take up this matter not only with the people but also with the representatives of the people, because they are the people who are going to take up this issue inside the parliament and take measures. And it is very good that the present Congress leadership and other political parties have realized this importance of conducting a caste census. And we should insist that every party, when they come to power, they have to implement it. And it is our duty to propagate this matter continuously for another 3 or 4 months till the election is completed, so that this matter is not at all going to the back burner. So this caste-wise census is very important, and there are a lot of information I can share with you, but time is limited for me also. So in this part, our All India Employees Federation is totally on this subject also, and we have been continuously working on that. Recently, at our national level meeting at Delhi also, we took up this issue. We had a dharna also in Delhi where our Students Association representatives also participated. And I think we have to work together, and this kind of seminar will give a lot of information to our people hearing this, and this will go on percolating to all the level, means it will be helpful. And also even in the within the government also, the parties that are supporting the present government. For example, he categorically stated that this caste-wise census should be conducted and the data should be available so that various welfare schemes can be done. But the pity is, whatever he says, his voice is not heard in the power, even in the PMO office. That is the irony of today's political system. But let us not wait for that. We will continuously work on that. We will propagate. We will conduct so many programs like that for the coming months. And our federation will always support you. And wherever we are conducting, we will also invite you and other people, so you can join with them. So let us make it as a continuous program for another 2 or 3 months, so that this exercise is being taken seriously by the powers that be. And I once again congratulate the organizers for taking up this issue at the right time. I congratulate you and I thank for giving this opportunity. Thank you, Kiran and team. Thank you.
Yes. So my name is Anil Mohan Yadav. I have been associated with the RSS since childhood, and then there came a time when I was, provided responsibilities, and then in 2015 I was transferred to the organization, that is the party, and there my job role is basically or primarily in the elections. Well, I'm of the opinion that 2024 is not going to be a fair elections, and it's not the RSS that that things like this. RSS, in fact, though it has been led by Chit Pawan and Deshat Brahmins, but they do want to win elections with people's mandate. They don't want to go against people's mandate. But there seems to be a lobby in the Baniya community which seems to think that this is the opportunity that we have never had, or we are not going to get if we lose power. And they are willing to go to any extent to win elections, be it unfair, fair, that does not matter to them. So my only concern is that if the BJP returns to power, I don't think there's any room for the OBCs and SC/STs to put in their demands, or even if we are raising a demand, I don't think they're going to be met with. So could you please shed some light on how we plan on countering this this menace that is on our head? Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Our leader, sir, Veeramani sir, is there? He's not
I'm
available.
sorry, I beg your
No.
pardon, sir.
No, the question is to me or to our leader, Veeramani sir?
Sir, it's to you or anyone who could, shed some light on this.
Okay. No, actually, see, the present government is going to have the power next time also. Naturally, there will be a challenge for the concept of social justice. That is true, because even now also we can see that a lot of things which we have to get is either delayed or denied. For example, I will just you will be able to understand immediately that this income ceiling, the concept of cream layer itself is not correct. That is a different point. But till such a time, the income ceiling has to be revised once in 3 years. That was the expert committee of 1993 placed in the parliament, accepted by the members of the parliament and implemented thereafter. And the National Commission was given the role to have that scheme to fix the income criteria, and it came to 8 lakhs. In 2017 September was the last GO issued by the present government, but by 2020 it should have been revised. But so far it has not been revised, and we have raised the point inside the parliament also through our members of the parliament. What the government has said that this economic income ceiling of 8 lakhs at present the government is not in a position to revise it. That means the status quo will remain. That means they don't want to revise it. Means then what is that we are going to understand by that? Because by 2017 you have fixed the 8 lakhs based on your cost of index and other inflationary issues, and now you are in 2023. In this 6 years, the central government has given the dearness allowance for the central government employees to the extent of 45% of the basic pay, which I have also written my editorial in our magazine. 45% has been increased. That means even in the normal course, it should have, this 8 lakhs should have come to nearly 12 lakhs, normal course, without any excess. But the government is not ready for that means. So they think that there is no collective or consolidated reaction from the backward classes. So unless we have a consolidated effort, a collective effort on any issue, take for example in the universities, what is the position? Our Students Association has been time and again telling what is the issue in the universities, not only in Hyderabad University, total in all the central universities and other IIM or IIT, the government's view is different. Today also the news has been published in the Telegraph about the Indian Institute of Management in Bangalore, where the scheduled caste, tribes and backward class representation in the faculty is totally coming down, and 2 of the candidates belonging to these groups, their applications were denied because it is not found suitable, which the prospectus or this when they apply there should be some conditions. It is not at all mentioned in the condition itself. This is the news today. So already they have started totally removing the concept of social justice, and slowly they have included the economic criteria through EWS, and if it is allowed to continue, we can very much anticipate to totally bring all these reserved groups on the basis of economically weaker sections or not. They will make a common issue that whoever is poor among all the communities, they will be brought into one umbrella and they can be given like that. They can also brought like that because if they have got numbers in the parliament, they can do anything. So that danger is there. So if whoever wants to protect the concept of social justice, which alone can give justice to all the people, where there is a possibility of equal distribution of wealth to all the people, then the backward classes, particularly the backward classes, should collectively take efforts, joining with the other groups also, scheduled castes and tribes, and minorities and who are the affected groups, all these groups have to consolidate themselves and fight on this issue continuously, irrespective of whichever party comes to power. So this is the